hard work, dedication. I'm a person. Yeah. I get every day from time to time, you know, talk to you. And after you I come with love for best, as a person, grew up there.
You really don't. You ain't got to like.
I'm being very asset to the team. Very versatile position.
It's like that one, you do everything else. That's for it. So, yeah.
I can play the whole line.
You can say I'm around my last 48, like 8
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
That's the first one.
Uh-huh.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
B-Doc Sports, also Doc Talking,
Yeah.
Besides just us talking, bring on other journey. Next generation, see, everybody was saying the same thing. I was a good kid, I did certain things. This comes off, we have this, so it's not about making people bad person. It's about people know, like, yeah, went through some stuff, didn't. So they know guys know somebody's 15 years old. Don't do these things, trying to get to this level, right? So that's what it's about. Every generation is helping this next generation. It's good. That's what we're here for. I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions. You guys words more timeline as we make this community.
What do you think?
Yeah, we good.
Take a step to your right for me.
So you're gonna
Too
see
far?
on that green triangle right there. Might want to stand back a little bit. There you go, right there. Good check.
Go back there. Oh, wait, a little bit. Right there.
Okay, what's the best asset? What do you think?
Rolling.
Alright, this is Executive Williams with B-Doc Sports. Speaking with you, am I saying your first and last name, just spelling out your last name?
Isaiah Washington, WASHINGTON.
First question I have for you today is, how do you feel about the combine? Do you feel like you performed up to your standards?
Yeah, I feel like I left it all out there.
What would you
I
make?
performed my best. I did a project before this.
You make the best one.
Now, what were some of the things that you were able to do to stay in shape during this COVID-filled season?
You know, normally you have to switch up your times, you have to switch up a lot of procedures, just a lot of COVID testing, just a lot of mass, training with the mask was a new one. But I think the biggest thing that I had that was an impact was when it first started. You know, you couldn't go to certain gyms, you had to know certain people to even get in the gym. So I think that's where it hindered a lot of people.
And it's good that you were able to find a way to adapt to that situation, because that's what it's really about. Because if at all levels, from the NFL down to high school, everybody has to adapt. Like you said, wearing a mask while you're working out.
And like I was about to say, it really comes down to what you want. If you want to get the backyard, they got graduate, they got Jalen Stewart, the chair got weight, on it. You know, I think the it's just the biggest thing right now, running anybody just to get that, you know, just to get that fit.
In the words of Malcolm X, by any means. Service. All right. So with that being said, question I have for you is everything that you know now as a player and as a person, some things that you would go back and tell your 15, 16, 17-year-old self.
Man, so if I could, I would probably write a book to myself if I could. So much, you know, you never want to like twice, but you always don't want to make the same mistakes. So that being said, you know, I didn't start off at HBCU. I already got put out at PWI to LSU. I could say I could have made different. You know, be a pro, not hustle. You know, you don't get second opportunities. I thought I was going to get second opportunities. Crazy. I could have excelled as a first to beat if I went to HBCU. Like I said, I'm all around good. I get an opportunity. Some things didn't work out. I ended up at HBC, but I could also say everything works out for your best. As long as you trust God and trust the process, you know,
Like some people would say everything happens for a reason.
yeah.
So we appreciate you for understanding that just because you're not at LSU anymore, there's opportunities out here. It seems like people still want you. And I will ask you, of course, besides leaving LSU, what was the reason why you decided to choose the HBCU that you chose?
I wanted, coming from a PWI, I would I was looking for a family. I was looking for somebody else to hold down for somebody else, make sure they have to be away as an animal. And I think at the HBCU level, you know, that's what our coaches are, their dads first and coaches second. And I think that's what I pride myself on. Coming from PWI, I could have went to Lamar, I could have went to that's CS, but I wanted to really honestly wanted to get that ball back from the HBC. Once I committed, you had a lot to do following and the one church.
I appreciate that. Is there anything recruiting process wise that you feel like was different going from high school to college than it was from after you left LSU and trying to choose the president schools?
I think it was night and day. It was night and day because I'm from JUCO, but also I still had that name and you know that work behind it. So people knew what they was getting. It just was night and day because now I have the understanding of how the system works and I know what I'm looking for now. So I wasn't looking for no big schools that's just gonna show me the blitz in the ground. I was looking for somebody else who's gonna hone in my skills and hone in who I am as a man.
And that's what I hear from every linebacker group, every linebacker group that I just do, saying the exact same thing, family, being able to have people around you that trust you and believe in you. And it's nice to hear coming from you, Mr. Isaiah Washington. We appreciate your time with B-Doc Sports. Keep it on like something to ask you.
Oh, better.
I'm gonna ask you a couple more questions first, but I really like this because everybody, some guy right from high school to HBCU, every guy I'm full player myself. I transferred to Southern, so I went to HBCU. I thought in my head, because I'm 30 years old, so when I was in high school, I saw this show score. I'm from Texas. So
Yeah.
I'm going to UT. I'm going to play. I'm a UT camp. I'm thinking, hey, I'm playing UT. I'm going to be the next wide receiver. Things happen. You know, unfortunately, they're out of control. All you can do is control. If you let one situation weigh you down and just, and you know, you could give up on life. If, you know, you're thinking like, man, I'm supposed to be at LSU. What do I do now? See, that's what it's about. You know, hold on. So let me finish up with these questions. Get your body, get your information, so I can have you on the podcast. Because of what I like to do is
Honestly, connect with a lot of things I know, and they be interested in doing
well,
podcasts.
and that's what I'm going to tell you. My cousin, he played for the Dolphins and the Lions. He started off at Morgan State. He started at Morgan State to the University of Houston. Got to the Patriots. I've seen his journey firsthand, and it's possible. You got to continue to work, continue to do what you need to do, and it's possible to make it. And I'm not trying to waste your time right now. I appreciate you. The younger people,
The difference about somebody that's talking, you talking about something very
it's the younger generation I'm trying to make sure I get at. Every person that I'm talking to, we were so enamored with the glitz and glamour that they want to get UT, LSU, Florida, Georgia, you know.
sounds like a girl that gets you with the look.
It's a great analogy. It's a great analogy. But sometimes I'm not saying that that normal chick isn't what you need, but sometimes that normal chick is what you need to keep your head on straight. I'm just saying, you gotta be able to come home to some secure bills, secure this, that, and the third, without worrying about the girl doing stuff, she got a club, That's all I'm saying.
That's true though.
That's all I'm saying. I know it don't sound sexy at 21, 22, 23. But when you're 30, I'm 30 right now, I'm 31. It's nice to be able to come home with a cook meal, know what my girl is doing. It's just nice to have. It's that it's the mental of not having worries. The unknowns. Exactly. Let me finish with this question. Why do you play football? If you choose some powerlifting and why current NFL player that you see yourself as? If you weren't playing football, what would you see yourself doing? What current show? What show were you currently binge watching? Top three music artists. Football, three little silly questions. I got you. Boston. I'm happy again. I'm saying Xavier Williams. That's talking this. That's the first and last name.
I ain't gonna spell it out again.
That was for the beat. You could.
Let's step back for me.
Which back?
Yeah, back.
Yeah, I got you. You good?
Good.
I'm gonna get off you. I said that.
Good, bro. Good. Big Xavier Williams here with X Talking Ish speaking to.
Isaiah Washington.
We appreciate your time for being able to take time out to talk to X Talking Ish. First question I have for you is why do you play football?
I play football because I love that game and I like to hit people.
That's a great answer. It makes you that right there makes you a great player. So anybody that's on the defensive side loves to hit, they're going to be a great asset to any defensive team. If you could choose one superpower, what would it be and why?
I'm honestly, I don't know. Probably Superman.
Okay.
Even though that's not a superpower, but
Just want it all.
Yeah,
Everything Superman got.
But honestly, probably super speed.
Okay.
Because it's the most reliable. You could use that with anything. And playing defensive end, I don't think the body would be able to block.
Okay, I agree with you on that. Flashing off the edge, ain't nothing wrong with that. I got you. Now speaking of the NFL player, who do you compare yourself to currently?
Fine. That's my goal.
Come off the edge.
Yeah, two strong stands. I want to get after them. I want pass rushing. I want cover.
What like you said, covering wise, linebacker skills and coverage. You nice on that. Go ahead and get you a pick six too.
Yeah, I got one.
Nothing wrong with that. If you weren't playing football, what would you be doing?
Probably be a trainer. I'll be a trainer just because that's what I do most of the time. Anyway, run routes, one-on-one, stuff like that. I think most of that, and probably real estate company. Just because I like money, honestly.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Money allows you to do the things that you want to do in life. Nothing wrong with that. What show are you currently binge watching?
I think it's Mind Hunter. It's mine. I like crime. Sure.
Criminal Minds?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like that.
I hear that a lot when it comes to different age groups, different genders, male, female likes, and that's a show that's all around. So you like the crime situation, that's a show to watch. Last question: top three music artists, past, present, dead or alive.
You can be able to Drake on there.
Okay.
Wayne.
Okay.
And after that, you can give me Biggie. Just I give you a whole. I give you a whole.
You got Cash Money, you got Young Money, and we got the old money with Biggie.
Facts.
When it comes to
Just like that.
nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. We appreciate you for taking the time out with X Talking News. Hope you have a great rest of your time.
You too.
I'm trying to get my opinion information down.
What you need?
Let me show you that. Pretty much everything that they said was the same last name, email, indoor phone number, and also social media handles.
So, Xavier Williams.
Third.
Multifunctional tool, Swiss Army. Of course, get to somebody
the first part I do is with Beyond Sports. I'm actually a couple of questions. Combine. The second part of questions I'm gonna ask you with my podcast, my next talking is what we do pretty much is I'm the guy who's like you're all right. Of course, next generation. Help home. Better athletes. You guys have or also some young people. But that's okay. Everybody has everybody. So they should give information out and continue to work that he's working. Right? So get where you want to be at. Just about work. Hey. To be successful. Sometimes we fall because of, well, you know, damn, I didn't make it in the NFL, I didn't make it in life. So I just want to give up. You know, let's continue to get better as athletes and also as people. So the time's over because everybody can't do time. Everybody can do that. So the time is over. Make sure that when you set yourself the right plan to be able to get out of college or NFL, to be successful. You don't mind if I put the on you right quick? Easy. How long y'all been doing this to be complete? This is our first person. We've been doing our literally February of last year. So first is off literally 2 weeks before 2000 hit. So like my first podcast was with a Hall of Fame Little Shows and Kansas City Chiefs. So I already did a podcast with them. You were excited about that. You weren't there time I was Pauline and West taking care of everything. But we had a film podcast and all that stuff. And my plan was to get into another guy's house and COVID did. I've been able to, unfortunately, I did everything online. They have all my stuff online. This is the first event now that we've been able to go to and finally be able to talk about that because of COVID. But once everything get lifted up, we plan on going to cities, stadiums, and all sorts of other things like that to actually continue to do this on a weekly, monthly, yearly basis. So the same old stuff. We want absolutely love it. So, like I said, I'm actually to beat our questions first. You don't mind stepping back to that green triangle type of the way football is set up. Type of design back there.
It's no reason why I should be concept. This, the therapy, it has some stipulations about being like outside of the biggest line, it look crazy. You say outside like that, you got a 500, 200 pound, you carry work. So, had to go, but, so,
Oh. This is Xavier Williams here with BDOT Sports speaking to you. Am I saying your first last name and spelling your last name?
Tyrell. T-Y-R-E-L-L. Last name G-O-O-D-W-I-N.
What HBCU did you attend?
Sacramento State University.
First question I have for you today is, how do you feel about your overall performance here at HBCU?
I'm very excited about it. Like I left it all out there.
Now, what were some of the things that made you choose an HBCU? What was the reason why you decided to go to an HBCU?
I feel like my family played a big role in it. So most of my family, always and everything with HBCU. So that played a big role in it. My pops, I kind of had a relationship with Coach Pugh already. So that was a big deciding factor for me.
Now, while COVID was going on, what were some things that you were able to do to stay in shape during this, of course, adjusted year?
Actually, one time I was training, and we really didn't have COVID really didn't stop us, so we just kept going at it before COVID, so it really changed it.
So you're still able to get to the gym, of course. You're still able to get your runs in, meals in, all that stuff. That's great. That's great to hear.
Now, knowing what you know now as a player and a person, what are some things that you would tell your younger self at 15, 16, 17? The advice that you give them?
I would tell myself, never give up. Always keep one at a time. Better days are ahead. Network.
That's a big one. I haven't heard that yet, but I think that is something that everybody needs to hear is networking. I agree on that one. And also as well, how was the recruiting process going from high school to college?
It was pretty smooth, man. I can't say it was that stressful. I mean, I kind of enjoyed all the pieces I went on and everything. It made it kind of easy for me. Like I said, my family was a big deciding factor, so I really was at peace with my decision.
We appreciate you for joining B-Doc Sports and being able to have a couple minutes of your time. So like I said, this next one, next slide is 3 football questions. Why do you play football? Choose one superpower, why? Current NFL player, compare yourself to. You're playing football, current show, or show you're currently watching. Just get this in, you ready? This is Xavier Williams with X Talking Ish. You mind saying your first and last name?
Tyrell Goodwin.
What are the reasons why you decided to play football?
Honestly, man, I came up from humble beginnings, and I saw it as a way out for me and my family, and it made me happy. So.
Anything that makes you happy is worth doing, right?
Yeah.
If you could choose one superpower, what would it be and why?
I have to say super speed, because I already got the strength. I kind of compare myself to the Hulk.
Just imagine the Hulk has flash speed. That'd be crazy, right?
You're not slow now, just a little bit.
He's not slow, but he ain't, he ain't flash.
Oh, no.
All right, so speaking of the NFL, what is a current player that you would compare yourself to?
I'll just one guy, I kind of compare myself to two.
Go to.
Okay, Grady Jarrett and Aaron Donald.
Okay.
I kind of feel like I kind of got a mixture of both.
I like that.
That's some guys.
Especially AD. That's the standard right now.
Yeah, most definitely.
AD is the standard, so I definitely don't mind that answer at all. If you weren't playing football, what were you doing? Why?
Actually, man, I'll be coaching, man. I'll be coaching. People back to the community, trying to inspire as many people as I can, that, just, you know what I'm saying? I know most people want to be playing football in the NFL, but, you know what I'm saying? Life is more than when they come to the end, So, just inspire them to, you know what I'm saying? Do what you do and chase your dream, but also have a backup plan, because football don't last forever.
One thing I like to say, I call it an insurance plan, not a backup plan, because a lot of people scurry away from the backup plan. They say, I don't want nothing to do with that. But the insurance plan allows you to be able to understand and realize that as much as we don't like paying for insurance, when the time is necessary for insurance, it's there to cover you in a bad time. So that's why I call it an insurance plan. All right, well, at the moment, what show are you currently binge watching?
Actually, man, I say All American.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta finish it up. I think I'm on like episode 3 of the new season.
Okay.
But I know it's stopped, so I'm gonna catch up on it.
No wrong with All American. I kind of left off a couple of seasons ago. I gotta get back on it as well. But it started to get a little more dramatic and took away from the football aspect. So I'm just I'm gonna get back into it. All right. Top 3 music artists dead or alive, past or present.
Oh, easy. Say, go with Tupac.
Okay.
Yeah, rest in peace. And I'll say currently living, Gucci, Future.
Okay. No wrong with that. I've heard a lot of Biggie. I haven't heard Tupac yet. So get Tupac on there.
Came up with Tupac.
All right, we appreciate your time talking with X Talking. Get that off. First, last name, email, phone number.
social media. Again, it allows us to be able to stay in contact moving forward, so we can be able to connect with the podcast moving forward.
My cousin went to 7 years.
Graduated 2014, 15, and more heavily.
We run track. Mississippi is everybody cousin.
Everybody is.
Yeah. It's me, my name's Xavier, that's the guy named Ish. What we do is, of course, talk about the science, talking about sports, we also talk to different players, athletes, high school, college, pro. And this is what their thought process, what they're currently going through, college aspect, pro aspect, and be able to give back to the next generation. Like there's a lot more players here, they want to make sure that they're able to inspire the next generation. That's what we're here for, to set that platform, to make sure that these younger guys are listening. Right? That's what the younger kids, they're not going about it the same way we went about it as 5, 6, 7, 8, 19 years old. These kids will listen to podcasts, they listen to YouTube, they listen to whatever. So the media I just feel like it's another way to be able to give back and being able to show the next generation, like, hey guys, we got people that been through it. I tell you, hey, you have to go through it. D1, like, you go to the HBCU, actually, it's all over, right? So that's what it's about. To get your information, be able to
You ready to change?
so good as you step back a little, step that way. Step back a little bit. Should be all right there. Everybody ready? Roll. I'm Xavier Williams with B-Doc Sports here with, am I saying your first and last name, spelling out your last name?
CJ Anderson, AAPSON.
First question I have for you is, how do you feel about your combine today? How was your performance?
Feel good, very good, able to come out and show the thing, we feel, we had that push, didn't feel when the last coming out, so seeing how those guys are supposed to be here, pretty cool, pretty neat. Just had fun out there.
And of course, with COVID taking away the opportunity last year, what were some of the things that you were able to do to stay in shape to be prepared for this year's combine?
Anytime we go, most of them had COVID now, give me hard, going hard, doing at-home workouts.
Nice to hear that you, of course, were able to do the things that you were able to do, like you said, some of the gyms were closed, it seemed like you were able to still make sure that you stayed in shape. What are some of the things that you would tell your younger self at 15, 16, 17 years old, the things that you know now as a player and also a person?
Stay in that coaching house. Learn something how to go, same way. Don't know everything, but you learn everything.
Now, the question I have for you as well is, why did you choose to attend an HBCU instead of going to a PWI?
My family, man. My grandma, my mother, my sister, he went to Texas State, they went to Texas State, my mom went to Texas State.
Yes, sir. And also as well, going from high school to college, how was the recruiting process for yourself?
It was fun. We go to the group on we had the high school. Make sure I stayed core. Make sure I was out busy. Make sure I felt like home. I had my family that day. He made sure I looked
seemed like for you, home and family, that's a big part for you and the reason why you was able to choose your future going forward, right? Yeah. Well, we appreciate you for joining VDOC Sports, CJ.
Thank you.
Got it, Chick? So now the question also. Like you ready to go on? That's a superpower. Why? Turn NFL player to compare yourself to. You weren't playing football with yourself doing what show you currently doing. What you said? Richard? This is Xavier Williams with X Talking Ish. First question I have for you today is, why did you choose to play football?
I like tackling people. I'm gonna say that. It ain't different experience when you out there on the field, got the stadium, got the band, fans cheering. It's a different experience in football.
And like you said, with the bands, that's something that a lot of people can't talk about if you go to PW Live on HBCU. That's a different experience, that band, right?
Oh, different.
If you had to choose one superpower, what would it be and why?
Like, I heard this a lot. Super speed. I'm gonna go fast while everybody else going in slow motion.
Ain't no wrong with that. I hear a lot of super speed, visibility, telekinesis. I'm wrong with that. Like I said, I've only heard one super strength. So everybody else wants that speed. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Current NFL player you compare yourself to and why?
Gotta be Aaron Donald. He play everywhere on the D-line. He know the game. That's why I try to follow my game out there. Tell him to go there, he going there. Tell him to go to the 3, tell him to go to the shade, tell him to go to the end. They play all on the D-line.
Now let's all remember, Aaron Donald, I hear this a lot from different defensive linemen. That's the standard. So let's remember, when he first came out of college, he wasn't looked at as going to be that next guy. Kept putting in the work, So that's what it's about, getting to that next level. It doesn't matter where you come from, it's about putting in that work, being able to stay. If you weren't playing football, what would you see yourself doing and why?
Coach, that's what it don't matter what sport I just want to be. They don't got the competitive nature. You know, my God, I just want to win, I just want to go out there and compete to have.
Love it. What show are you currently in?
I just started Snowfall.
That's the show right now. That's the show. All right. Top 3 music artists, past, present, dead or alive.
Got Lil Wayne, my generation. Got Lil Wayne, Drake, Future.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. We got Young Money, Cash Money. We also got, we got the Future on the East Coast in Georgia. So I definitely respect all that. We appreciate you, CJ, for taking your time talking with X Talking Ish.
Thank you, guys.
Anytime we want to be a car, I ain't tripping, man. You can play some good music. CJ, you don't mind?
Can you do me one? Just go back. Let me just get finish it. It doesn't. Okay, thank you.
Not as bad as mine.
What's going on? Doing good. Like Xavier Williams, Taylor Stewart. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
So I'm gonna ask you 2 sets of questions. One from VDOC Sports. VDOC Sports is one of my personal podcast called X Talking Ish. I'm X, my boy Ish. His name is Ishmael Sirius. Not here to be with us at the moment. But we are former athletes as well, high school, college, and pro. Just fortunate for us to make it to what we do more than anything is get back to Texas. So it's the pipeline from kids from Little League, high school,
Just for
Like you said, we're just trying to get back as much as we possibly can. And this is actually our first event since COVID. So, you know, just trying to be able to connect with you guys. I went to Greg, with Greg, we went to his shoes, HBCU out, and being able to see you guys go through the process is really great because it's like all you guys have your hand on straight. It's nice to see that because unfortunately it's the stigma of HBCUs. Right? You actually go there, and when I hear from all you guys, no matter what position it is, family, care about you, you know, it's, you actually see the blue like you know, so it's one of those things where it's different, but it's completely different, right? And you really don't even understand what's not like that. So, I ain't gonna hold you too much. You don't want to speak about the position right quick.
Do I want to take one?
Yeah. Could
You want me to?
No, what you can do,
Go to the declaring.
so, take it, you sure? Okay. So, just FYI, if you have to, the ground, just push off above your ear, so tilt down, and then that's the way that it would be set up. But that's just for future, like, because you don't go on ESPN and everything else, so that's your tip.
Or you can get contacts. One of the other.
But yeah, so that's what they did, they just take the glasses from the back and they push it just above your ear, it feels funny, but it takes the glare away, okay?
So we're gonna position one more time. We want you kind of by this green triangle, this field.
I could start putting them to the,
Position you
to the left of it, up a little bit. So,
a little bit to the.
right there. Yeah, go back, but go that way. So. A little more?
To the left?
Yeah, that way. All right. Cool.
And you'll be looking at me, the camera don't shoot you from the side.
You like, chest up?
Yeah, so,
The first question would be Dr. Sports, and the second questions would be from myself. I'll let you know. Little chat. This is Xavier Williams with VDOC Sports. Here, if you don't mind stating your first and last name and spelling your last name, please.
Jalen Stewart, STWARD.
What HBCU did you attend?
I went to Arkansas Foundry.
First question I have for you today is, how do you feel about your combine and the overall experience of the HBCU combine?
I feel that I did very well. I'm thankful for the HBCU Combine for hosting this event. I feel like I did very good.
Now, while COVID was going on, because unfortunately HBCU combine was supposed to be held last year, it got canceled. During this COVID season, what were some of the things you were able to do to stay in shape?
I found a guy who I actually went to high school with. His name's Kenny Williams, and we got together and we were training this whole time. And once I got the call, I was like, "Cool, I'm ready. So let's do it."
Now, what are some things that you would tell your younger self with all the knowledge that you have now as a player and as a person, a younger 15, 16, 17 years old?
Just tell him stay true to yourself. Don't ever let any outside influence or dictate your thought process or anything like that. First and foremost, just keep God first.
Now, what made you choose an HBCU?
It wasn't a choice. It was I wasn't heavily recruited out of high school. I had the D2 offer, and I actually had to call Pine Bluff and send them my highlight tape to get them to look at me, and the rest is history.
Now, like you said, because you weren't heavily recruited like that, being able to attend Arkansas Pine Bluff, do you feel like if it wasn't for them, you might not be in this position that you are in at this moment?
I feel I still would have made a way because I was got to any environment. I feel put me anywhere and I'll come out on top.
I do have, yep, I guess, I got some bad news.
I just
Go ahead,
said too.
run that back. All right, my bad.
Oh, we didn't.
Are you, I'm gonna walk away.
I'm gonna walk away as well too. We don't win.
Good touch one, everybody. Good touch one.
Oh, good. We only did that no half, so it wasn't like we. Thank you, Mr. Louise. My bad, that's on Facebook. That's all right, you might need to. In my head, I'm thinking I need to peach. That's all I'm thinking in my head right now. All right, we're running back first quick. Hopefully, the rough draft is everything. You good? All right. My name is Xavier Williams with VDOC Sports here with, if you mind saying your first, last name, and spelling your last name.
Jalen Stewart, STEWARD.
What HBCU did you attend?
I attended Arkansas College.
First question I have for you today is, how do you feel about the combine and the performance overall?
I feel that my performance today was very well, and I was just thankful for the opportunity to participate in the HBCU combine.
Now, while things were going on, of course, because of COVID, stopping a lot of things when it comes to workouts and being able to be in person with other people, what were some things that you were able to do to stay in shape?
Well, while I was in Memphis, I met up with a guy named Kenny Williams, old high school teammate who's also a prospect. We just hit the ground running training, and when I got the call, I was already ready, so I was just waiting for the day.
Because at the end of the day, you want to be ready instead of having to get ready. Exactly. So with that being said, what are some things that you would like to tell your younger self? Because it seems like you've attained a lot of knowledge coming from high school to college. So what are some things that you would tell your younger 15, 16, 17-year-old self?
I'll tell him to keep God first and never let outside influence dictate my thought process. At the end of the day, I'm here for a reason. And yeah, I'm here for it.
Now, why did you attend an HBCU?
It wasn't my choice because I wasn't heavily recruited out of high school. I had one D2 offer, and I actually had to call Pine Bluff and send them my film, and then I was able to get on the Pine Bluff. But without that, I don't know where I'd be.
And with the recruiting process, since you said you had D2 offer and also since you took the Arkansas Pine Bluff, if you weren't able to go to Arkansas Pine Bluff, would you still be able to be in this position that you are in now?
Yeah, I feel like I would have made it to this position because I adapt to any environment. Put me anywhere, I'm gonna make it out.
It's great to hear. We appreciate you for joining VDOC Sports. All right, so let's do it. You can cut that. Sorry about that.
Let's go. So I'm gonna ask you a question for the next topic is, why do you play football? If you choose one superpower, what would it be and why? Current NFL player you compare yourself to? If you are playing football, what would you see yourself doing? What show you currently binge watching? Top 3 artists that are alive. Make sure we got mics. We got mics this time. All right, let's go. Ready, Chad?
This is Xavier Williams with X Talking Ish, speaking to first and last.
Jalen Stewart.
First question I have for you today, Jalen, is why do you play football?
I really feel that football chose me, and then we kind of had an agreement, and it was just time to take over.
Now, if you had an opportunity to choose a superpower, what would that superpower be and why?
I'm a Dragon Ball Z guy, so I'm gonna have to go with Goku.
Okay.
He was inspiration for it.
That's different. I hear I hear Superman, I hear super speed,
Yeah.
invisibility.
Goku.
You say Goku, I know you're a 90s baby on that one. All right, I like that. Who's a current player in the NFL that you would compare yourself to?
I don't really compare myself to any players, but I do like a couple guys' games, and I take bits and pieces from their games. Like past players, like Lawrence Taylor, Grant Clark, Von Miller, Khalil Mack, all those guys, bits and pieces.
Nice to hear Frank Clark reference.
We are from Seattle.
Okay. Bad boy, man. Seattle the Chiefs. Bad boy. If you weren't playing football, what do you see yourself doing?
I'm an industrial technology man, so I see myself working in that field.
Great answer, great answer. What show are you currently binge watching?
Right now, I've been watching Snowfall. It's been pretty good.
Trust me, that's everybody's answer. People that haven't watched, you're missing out. If you are tuning in, of course, the X Talking is, you are definitely missing out on Snowfall. It seems like everybody else is tuning in to Snowfall. Your top three, who are your top three music artists and why, dead or alive, past or present?
I'm gonna have to go with Tupac, number one. And then my personal is Money Man. And I'm gonna have to throw a Memphis rapper in there, so I'm gonna go with Contra.
Okay, nothing wrong with that. But we appreciate your time talking to X Talking Ish. Hope you have a great rest of the conference.
Thank you.
If you don't mind, can I get your information on that pad right there so we can stay in touch with you? Like I said the other time, what I like to do is establish this relationship because moving forward, and you never know who's going to be where, right? So if you guys ever need help with anything, that's why us older people, that's why I'm having opportunities. The young lady who's left, they work for her and me, so they're working in this now, she knows that relationship, I'm on bridges, and for me, you know, one thing I do more than anything is my nutrition. I mean, I hear tell everybody, hey, we don't do Jacob do it. No, that's not what I do, bro. That's about being able to. I'm not ESPN, I'm not Fox. I'm not here for ratings. I'm not here to make y'all or to have y'all's information out there for the streets. I'm here to make sure that we put out real shit and make sure that the young generation understands their lives. I need to listen to these guys because I want to be where y'all at. Listen and be disciplined because you're not. You're going to be Joseph Reed. I was there and love. I was in there. So you know, I've seen a guy like Andrew Luck was supposed to be the next Peyton Manning and retired at 28. Okay, so and I've seen guys that weren't good in high school that are still in the NFL right now. So what it's about is about you believe in your dream, keep working at it, keep honing in on your skills, and the rest should pay off. God willing. But at the end of the day, we also know too that football does not last forever. You can't be Tom Brady, and you have to be able to have what I call as an insurance plan to be able to have that next opportunity ready, so you're not out here scrambling. Because I've been there. I played football when I got done with football in college. Unfortunately, didn't work out the way I wanted to. I went to the Army for 4 years. Once I got done with the Army, I played rent football. And once I got done with that, again, I was just kind of like, okay, I know what I stand football for him, but I just don't know how to really get in there. So, again, luckily for me, I still stay in contact with my football mentors. He hit me up with Mr. Reese, and the rest is history. That's just, again, what I'm trying to get to know you guys, what you guys know about is the opportunities are here. If anything, more and more opportunities. It's just want you guys to do success I possibly can to help everybody. So,
I appreciate it.
no, I appreciate you. No problem, of course. Like I said, you want to next page. Like I said, first name, last name, phone number, email, social media handle. Like I said, I'll get all you guys. And just to give you a heads up, it's not going to be something that happens tomorrow or next week. Like that. This is after all the hoopla you guys are going through calms down, and then y'all actually have an opportunity to breathe, and then we'll be able to get you guys on this. So yeah, I know a lot of stuff is going on after this. When it comes to
I've been off of social media actually just to tone it down.
respect. The only reason I'm even really on social media is because of my job. There's so much dumb stuff on social media.
That's why I stopped. I just had to log into Twitter to see what my name was. I was tired of reading what people had to say. Like, will you shut up? But I ain't gonna tell them that.
Nah, you good? Nah, because then at the end of the day, you don't want to get in trouble for that.
Yeah.
You tell somebody to shut up because they need to, you don't want to get in trouble.